Greetings and salutations, good friends, and welcome to Blades in Paradise. My name is Dr. Winston Thoreau, and I will be your guide to the perils and pleasures of our paradise amidst the post-apocalyptic Pacific Northwest. Now, we'll get to the chicanery and shenanigans momentarily, but before we do, allow me to deliver some news. Blades in Paradise is an actual play podcast run in John Harper's Blades in the Dark, and we're sponsored by the developer Evil Hat Games. Use code BARDROCK10 at checkout to save on your order. Bard Rock Network is sponsored by Dragon Master Games. Visit dragonmastergames.com for all your CCG, TCG, TTRPG, and miniature game needs. If you enjoyed the stories we tell, you can tip us on Ko-fi or visit us at patreon.com/bardrockcafe. By sponsoring the network, you not only help us provide an ever-expanding library of shows, but gain access to bonus content, the network Discord, quarterly backer games with the network community, and an annual swag bag. Now, without further ado, let's join Lizzie, Sterling, and Max, as well as myself, the crew of ESPN. Enjoy.
Blades in Paradise is a dystopian story intended for adults. These stories intentionally address challenging topics that might not be suitable for all ears. This campaign includes content warnings for gun violence, child endangerment, animal cruelty, unintentional misgendering of a non-binary person, substance use, and graphic descriptions of injuries, including the eyes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Blades in Paradise, where we continue to discover more and more people surviving in the American wasteland without access to fossil fuels or any large-scale infrastructure. I'm Paul, the Game Master for our first campaign. And hopefully with less dark and troubling anecdotes than last session, here are my players.
From the CEO's office to the basement in only one episode, it's Dr. Winston Thoreau. Hi everybody, I'm Jim. I'm playing Dr. Winston Thoreau, who is the whisper of the group, the careless whisper, if you will. And a fun fact about Dr. Winston Thoreau is that on his 18th birthday, he was kicked out by his previous adopted parentage, and that was the day that he started working at ESPN. He initially sat down on a bench outside of the orphanage where he grew up, and a courier came by with his government-issued 18th birthday surprise package, which involved work dispensation orders, some instant coffee, and a 3-night stay at the local Ramada Inn. When he went down to ESPN to complain about the demeanor and the rudeness of the clerk, he was offered a job on the spot.
Now, the really impressive part is ESPN went to deliver this to his adopted address because it's the same day. Found out he wasn't there, and then the courier tracked him down on a random street corner because ESPN does not accept return to sender as an answer.
Put that on a t-shirt or something.
And we just work up a little ESPN logo and put that as their motto.
We don't take return to sender. My name is Justin, and I'm playing Maximilian Graves, otherwise known as Max, everybody's favorite, sometimes member of ESPN. I absolutely love long walks on the beach, holding hands with the person I love, whether they're there or not, and just solving this damn cube. I put it all together. Why are there 17 different colors, Paul?
Because it was supposed to be unsolvable, first of all, and second of all, I am 80% sure that you already did the walks on the beach joke or the previous fact.
I did, didn't I? Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure. We'll let you pass this time. However,
well, this is a fact about Justin, not about Max.
Oh, fair. However, if you use that joke a third time, I will have to give you -1D moving forward for the episode you do.
Aww. Sounds fair.
Hi, I'm Queenie, otherwise Lizzie Calhoun. I play the Hound. We just left Tightwad, my hometown, and something you didn't know about me was that I was raised to actually take over the farm until my brother came along, who is now the farmer and blacksmith of Tightwad.
Hi, I'm Riley. I play our brash and scrappy thumb warrior. If any listeners are worried about Sterling's beloved toys as we get shot at and shit, all good, have no fear. I'm making our jokes official. In between episodes, Sterling turned their belt into a Beanie Baby bandolier, which I think we've only mentioned in Discord so far.
I think so. I love it. I think we might have mentioned it briefly in the episode where you made Craig a canonical Beanie Baby.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't remember. Yeah, that may have been on mic. It may have been before or after recording. I don't recall. But it is now
believe
canon.
it was after recording.
I'll bring two next time.
The Beanie Babies do have plot armor, but that just means that if you get shot at, somehow it magically misses the Beanie Baby and gets you. You don't get like a special protection armor.
It actually makes it easier to hit all of your internal organs because of this.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. Sterling would take a bullet for their beanies.
Sterling has also canonically walked off being shot where most of his their organs are. No problem.
Fine, you're good.
All right, last time. The party, minus Lizzie but plus Victor Lorde, journeyed to Silver Lake, collected all the herbs and fungi, despite dangerous encounters with the real-life counterparts of the game combat critters. You follow the trail of the person who restored Victor to life, only to find a tool shed in the middle of nowhere. It opened up, revealing itself to be an elevator, and that is where we resume our tale. As the elevator doors open, you hear the heavy sound of a galloping horse, turning to see Lizzie riding on an absolutely enormous Clydesdale with a brilliant white coat. "Oh, hey, you brought my horse. Thank you kindly," Victor says. He ties the horse to the Wienermobile and helps Lizzie dismount so you can all enter the elevator together.
That horse is going to start dragging the wiener all around the place. Dragging wieners is not allowed.
Can I pet the horse?
Sure, friend, you can bet the horse, yeah.
So, what was the deal? Did they have bottomless mimosas at brunch? Was that what was going on?
I was having to help Mom and Dad with the farm. Also, behind me are 2 things of pickles, so you're welcome.
Pickles.
My favorite.
I'm with Max on that one. Those things are absolutely disgusting.
Sterling, you shut your dirty hamster mouth. Pickles are evil.
Hamster?
Dirty hamster mouth. Did I stutter?
You know that hamsters are like some of the cleanest animals that you could possibly be taking care of, right? Like,
So imagine how terrible a dirty hamster mouth would be. I mean, have you seen those things? They're 20 feet long at least.
he makes a good point.
I don't mean they're big, I mean they're 20 feet long.
I accept this insult.
Victor leans over to Lizzie like, "Is the fella wearing a coat made out of rats judging someone by calling him a hamster?"
Yep. Welcome to my life.
You hear the loudspeaker, "Are you all getting the elevator or not? You're wasting electricity."
Elect what?
Yeah, I go ahead and get in the elevator.
You don't even know what's going on and you're just getting into random elevators now?
Well, of course, I always do. That's why you guys have to save me.
All right, let's follow her. Come on.
Are we sure?
To be fair, the rest of you know what the elevator is, sort of.
Start calling you Lemming Calhoun.
All right, so the elevator slowly descends. The music is not the bop that it is in the Paradise elevator because it's a much shorter descent.
No girl from Ipanema?
Worse. Bop.
Oh no, that would literally be a bop by definition. So no, it's not.
Bop, 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 bop.
I am not going to look in our drive folder to name a tune. I'm just going to trust our editor, Donnie, to choose an appropriate elevator tune for this scene.
It makes me so happy that we have an elevator music folder.
All right, the elevator comes to a halt when you estimate you've gone down about 3 stories below the surface. The doors open and you see a simple, dimly lit foyer with stone walls, floor, and ceilings, and steel doors that appear to lead off to other corridors. Standing in the center is a particularly short man with horn-rimmed glasses, pale skin, and faded red hair in a lab coat with purple safety gloves. "Ah, welcome, friends, to Victor. I am Dr. Dexter von Feelgood, and you can just call me Dr. Feelgood for short. Welcome to my bunker."
Greetings and salutations. My name is Dr. Winston Thoreau, and this is my team. They may introduce if they see fit, or they may choose not to do so, considering we don't know you from a hole in the wall. How did you manage to
Do
build...
you have a hammer?
I have many tools.
I need a hammer. This cube, this infernal cube.
May I see the artifact that you have in your hands, good old friend?
I suppose. Don't run off with it though. It's my precious.
You know how like those old Texas Avery cartoons, whenever they do something really complex they didn't want to animate, there's just like a cloud and then it's done?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's like a little dust cloud, and Dr. Von Feelgood has repaired your Rubik's Cube. It is now in a solvable pattern somehow.
Paul, you spent so much money on that scene, and our listeners will never see it.
Somehow he just did it with a screwdriver. It makes no sense.
So if I turn this...
Yeah, somehow, like, the colors now align. So, like, basically before it was unsolvable because there were too many colors and there was no way to get them on the same axis to solve them. Now, the too many colors problem is still there, but it's been put in such a way where you can make them in small little sets of 4. So, like, it's like each cube has, like, 6 sides. Like, each side has, like, 4 rows of 4. So you can do, like, 4, 4, 4, and 4.
And what does the cube say when he hands it back to him? What's the inappropriate word that it happens to say that you've accidentally spelled out?
Let's see. So looking at this, it's MCMLXIX, ADCE.
At least now we know his birthday.
As Max described, it would just be random gobbledygook because the original cube was assembled to be a cipher, and this cube has been assembled to be solved by color. So, no, it's just random nonsense.
That's strange. I was sure there'd be more to this. No, there should be more to this. Winston.
Yes, Max. Yes, Max.
Winston, you're intelligent-ish. Look this over. Make sure it's right.
I'm going to take the cube from him, and I'm going to put it in my coat pocket, and I'm going to say, Dr. Feelgood, tell me, how do you know our friend Victor?
Oh, that's easy. He died, and I undied him. I put him back in life. Yeah, but that's you want the long answer, I suspect. Well, that was the short answer.
I would like the long answer, yes. I know you can see the look of extreme consternation on my face, and I remove the Rubik's Cube, and I toss it to Sterling.
It was a complicated experimental procedure. The long answer is easier if I show you. How about I give you all the grand tour?
Victor,
Victor's like, what's he gonna do, kill me?
You make a good point.
I got a point.
You all, like, realize, like, unless this guy has mass-printed Victor Lords, you guys are pretty safe with Victor here against this 12-pound old man.
Now, before we leave, Dr. Feelgood, I would like to just ask one quick question.
Yes?
When you removed the, let's say, raw materials from, I presume, the train accident, was that all you removed from the train accident?
I only salvaged enough parts to repair the people I saved, which was Victor and those 5 post people. You know, like, I just took bits and pieces, bits and bobs, if you will, of what I needed, because one of the things of the procedure is the body needs to be very hardy to contain the soul when it's shoved back in there. Otherwise, they explode.
So the Subway folks all died too?
Yes. But like I said, like, if their body's not strong enough, when you put the soul back, it will explode. And he looks at Sterling, he's like, you would make an excellent homunculus. And he hands Sterling a business card and says, if you ever die, give me a call.
I just write, souls explode, ?
Oh no, the soul doesn't explode. The body explodes because it can't hold in the raw power of the soul. Because when you shove it back in, there's like do you understand, Doctor, the law of thermodynamics and the idea of energy being able to be converted but not lost?
So my eyes immediately go white and I say, energy can never be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed. And then I just take a step back and breathe heavily because that took all of my mental acumen to recite that.
Exactly what I expect for someone with your reputation. I've heard of you. I happen to be good friends with members of the board.
The board?
Yes, the board.
Oh.
You might remember when you were asking for people who might know about, like, soul shit, that Dr. Feelgood was on the short list of 2 people.
I'm a board-certified spectrologist and a licensed practicing spiritologist. I understand.
Yes, I understand. I also understand you are, unfortunately, the second most popular, but probably the first most skilled spectrologist in the greater Salvation and Paradise area.
It depends on who you ask.
For now.
I understand. I strongly believe you are the superior of the 2 choices.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Shall we?
Yes, and he leads you on the tour.
I just want to say I pocket that business card.
Yeah, so you all have, if Sterling ever dies, the ability to have Sterling revived as homunculus. Assuming Dr. Feelgood does not die between now and...
You've opened some interesting doors, Paul.
Speaking of opening doors, the doctor gives you the tour of the first floor. There is a kitchen and a dining area, several living quarters, of which only one room seems to be occupied, his, and a large generator in the back that seems to be supplying power to the bunker. Except you guys know that, like, generators typically run on like some sort of like burnable oil, petroleum, kerosene, etc. So not sure what that is, and you're pretty sure this generator would not power this enormous bunker by itself.
Sterling, can I please have the cube?
I think. How tall is Max?
I'm only about 5'6". I used to be taller.
Probably the same-ish height. You might even be a little taller.
Dr. Feelgood looks at Max and says, "You would make a terrible homunculus. You would explode before I finished half the procedure."
Yes, quantum mechanics and all that. Do you know about quantum entanglement, where you take two particles and separate them by a long distance, and then when you interact one of the particles that was connected to the other particle actually acts no matter how far away. You put that second particle in the same exact manner as the first particle? No, you didn't know that, did you?
Give him the cube.
Yes, Max has the cube. I will state for the record that the doctor fixed the cube, did not solve it for you. It is now solvable.
Yes, I'm looking over it right now. I'm not moving anything. I'm just studying it.
Anyway, the doctor waits very patiently for you all to ask about his generator and realizes you don't care. It's like, okay, fine.
So, no, I'm very curious about how you're managing to run this entire facility here. It's giving me the ick being in this room. I'm just going to say that right now, like something is making me feel very uncomfortable, and I don't know why, but I would like to understand why. So please tell me.
Oh, no problem.
Mostly because of the quantum ghost polarization, but that's fine.
There's nothing to worry about here. This generator runs on, like those Hot Topic folks, they have like those little kits to turn their peanut oil into basically gasoline. I do the same thing to power the generator. I just take a little bit of peanut oil, some corn oil, etc., and just convert it into a usable source. That keeps the generator running. That runs like 80% of the power, and the other 20% I steal from the electric turn of the train.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I just basically run a wire.
So why am I feeling so uncomfortable down here? Like what is the strange, awkward feeling I have in the pit of my stomach?
Well, didn't he say he couldn't fix the subway people? What if it's their spirits that you're feeling?
Oh no, because their spirits are in their bodies. They are homunculi. No, my spectrologist partner. I had two partners that had to help me with this procedure: a spectrologist and a alchemist. And basically, the spectrologist took their souls, put them in bottles until the procedure was done, and then shoved them back in the body. Basically, the alchemist put together a series of chemicals that we put in the body to sort of get the metabolic process going again, so that the body would start generating the chemicals that it needs to survive, blood, etc., so on and so forth, on its own. So that they both contributed to the research, and I basically came up with the process of building the correct body and getting all the other equations correct. So no, the soul is their soul, because we bottle it before it has departed fully to the other side, and we shoved it back. We've only ever had those 6 successful test subjects.
So did you build this whole thing on a massive mode polarization entanglement biophoton frequency comb?
Man, this guy is speaking my language. You sound like my professor that taught me all the sciencey stuff way back in the before time.
We all just look at Max. Everyone's head just turns at the exact same time.
Confused now.
What?
There's no chance.
Of what? Where are we?
Now, the only thing the old timer missed is basically what you do is once you get all those pieces together, you then need to pump 1.21 gigawatts of electricity into the body to jumpstart the process again, which is the main reason they need to be so hardy, because the soul and the electricity will explode them.
A lot of gigawatts.
I would like to try to attune right now and see if I can feel any lingering presences or any kind of extrasensory energies.
Sure, go ahead and roll to attune.
That is a 5.
As a control, there's nothing hindering your ability, but it's going to be limited. 5. So you sense like some energy fields, but like you don't like manifest a ghost. You don't sense a lot down here because there's not like a lot of life forms that died below the surface in this area.
But it's not like by the train where there was a complete absence of everything.
No, this is like pretty standard. Like, oh hey, some like wild animals died here. Maybe there was an unmarked grave in this area. Limited activity, something you expect in nature. I will say that the generator makes some weird clickety-clack noises when you try tuning.
Is everything okay?
Oh, no, did you just tap into the spirit field?
I did. How did you realize that? Most people don't.
Well, yeah, because my generator did that every time my spectrologist partner did it, too.
Who was your partner?
This gentleman by the name of Famous Nathan.
Mother. Famous.
Oh, yeah, no, if you ever get the opportunity to shoot him dead, I'd appreciate it. He stole my research.
Oh.
Explains where he got the soul bottles from.
I don't think you'd have much of a problem with the clinka-da-clunka that you, whenever my friend would tap the souls, if you just use the noise rejection through an improved quantum illumination protocol.
This guy really knows his stuff.
Well, do you have a spare? I could probably install it.
You were the first person who has ever said that. I want you to understand that.
I mean, he's speaking perfect English to me. But no, my partners, so basically what happened was, and he's been walking you through, there's like a garden and a hydroponics bay and like a water purification. So all the stuff you'd expect, be able to live in an underground bunker for decades. And he gets you down to the lab. He's like, and you see this place has been ransacked and it looks like it's been that way for months and he hasn't gotten around to cleaning it. So basically what happened, they took all of my research, they took most of the usable chemicals and tools. Basically what happened was we fixed up the postal people and we fixed up Victor. And I said, okay, I'll take Victor back to Tightwad. It's not that far from here. I was like, okay, we'll get the postal workers back to Salvation. Get back to the lab and everything's fucking gone.
What could Nathan want with those chemicals? Who's he looking to bring back from the... Oh, no.
His grandfather.
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no.
Why he had the bottle full of them?
Lizzie, you're a genius.
Also... which of the subway postal workers did you bring back?
The 5 you guys met in the 4th episode.
Okay.
They were all homunculi like Victor. That's why y'all remember y'all making fun of me? Why does Paul have so many big fucking burly NPCs?
We just thought you'd like beefy boys.
Including Sloppy Joe that smells.
Yeah, Sloppy Joe's homunculus too.
Did he smell like that before?
So does it count as dying if they were killing if they were already dead?
How did they die?
Supposedly they died in a blimp accident and our boss is in jail for it.
Oh, hon, they are certainly probably not dead.
So now where are they?
I'm guessing they were assumed dead because the wreckage probably was assumed to have destroyed their bodies.
So where are they?
Well, see, thing is, Famous Nathan has laboratories all over. The 2 closest ones are in Paradise and Salvation. My guess is that he would have the supplies and his homunculi minions somewhere in one of those 2 laboratories. I don't have the resources to pursue him, but if somebody were to go find him and get my ship back, I'd pay them handsomely in coin.
We'll take that job. I think 2 coin each might be a good way to start. And if I can bring you his head on a silver platter, how much extra will you give me?
Well, I would like you to shoot him dead, but I don't know if you want to shoot him dead because he is one of the most powerful people in the cities of Paradise, Salvation, and beyond because he is part of the Famous family. You will almost certainly be hunted down.
I know far more about Famous Nathan and the Famous family that you would ever be able to understand. Some would say that I am closer to them than I am to my own family. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, then it's not as easy as killing him. Now, if you could find some incriminating documentation, that might be able to set him off his high horse and maybe the police could deal with him.
I have a question. The people on the blimp that came back from being dead, what's their memory maybe like? How much do they remember of the blimp ride?
Well, here's the thing, because I didn't make them homunculi after the blimp ride. They probably just walked it off the same way. Victor, you said they threw you off a fucking train?
Yeah, Doc did.
Guilty as charged.
Oh, yeah, no, the same thing. No, they probably just got up and dusted themselves off. Man, Victor, when I made you a burly boy, I made you borderline indestructible. I'd wager those subway people are pretty much the same. And what scares me is, now that we've perfected the process, it's possible Nathan could be mass producing an army of homunculi. I don't know what he wants to do with the research.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
That put me to ask why, but it's stupid. I put another soul into Victor by accident.
Oh.
When I threw him off the train.
Interesting. He opens up his drawer, pulls out a notepad, and starts taking notes. How did that work out for you?
I didn't think it was going to happen. I actually just thought the ghost was going to scare him. He was going to turn around and run and jump of his own volition. And come to find out, he now has a train conductor living inside of his brain.
Oh yes, because basically the part of the homunculus process, you don't want the soul to get out, and the soul, because it's already departed from the original body, it wants to get the fuck out of there to the afterlife. So basically, the homunculus in the center, its brain is basically a spirit bottle with lots of capacity for the spirit to bounce around.
And that includes an extra spirit?
Yes, I don't know how many souls it could hold. That was the spectrologist's part to figure out, not mine. But yes, you could just, in theory, you could just turducken him up with souls.
Guess what, Doc? You got some work to do.
Which of us?
Yeah, there's two doctors. You have to be specific in this instance. I know it's very rare, but you have to be specific in this instance. Do I have work to do, or does Dr. Feelgood have work to do?
I believe that she was speaking to you, my good friend. So, follow-up question, if I may. So the more souls that are trapped within a homunculized brain, the less they can bounce around, to use your eloquent speech. So if you fill it to capacity, +1, would we get a metaphysical explosion or a physical repulsion of the souls?
Well, I think what would happen is you'd eventually just drive them insane. But yeah, basically the way I think, as I understand it, would work. This is all theoretical because I've never shoved multiple souls inside of a homunculus. But in theory, I think what would happen is as more and more voices got in there, they would start going mad. I believe the word is dementia.
I know that well. So, when you make these homunculi, how do you get past the Renfield's syndrome, as it were?
Okay, I need you to walk me, Paul, through the question you're trying to ask, because I do not conceptually understand what you're asking.
So he is asking more nuanced questions on how to make a homunculus without having terrible side effects, such as just having a zombie or a vampire or something of that nature.
Oh, that's what the alchemy is for. Basically, I put the organs back in, make sure they're functioning properly. The alchemist insert the chemicals, and that gets them basically build a living body and shove the spirit in there. It's more like the body is a meat suit possessed by a ghost, if that makes sense.
Yes.
They lose about a day of their memory in the process, which is why Victor doesn't remember what happened to him, really.
Well, he was able to remember some of it.
Right, probably bits and pieces. Dying is a very traumatic event, at least as I understand it.
I have one last question for you.
Certainly.
Could you teach me how to do this, please?
I could. The hard part is I don't have my research notes, so it would take me some time to redo it. But let's see what we can do here. I've been working on it. He pulls out a big chalkboard. Is this the arcane thing you would like to learn?
I would like to learn how to make a spirit bottle. Yes, with my playbook advancement, strange methods to whenever I invent or craft a creation with arcane features, I get +1 result to my level, and I begin with one arcane design already known. I would like that arcane design to be a spirit bottle.
Yeah, so he shows you on the chalkboard. He's like, basically, I know the part where I build the body here, and I generally know how the spectrologist makes the spirit bottle. That's basically, that's all I could get from what I could do from memory. Everything else is in the notes Famous Nathan stole from me.
Do you know how he managed to figure out how to make these on his own without help? Because when I knew him at first, he couldn't do any of this. He had no skills in spectrology whatsoever.
My understanding, the way he explains it, of course, Famous Nathan, you know him, he tends to overstate his abilities.
Yes, he's full of shit.
He says he's a very quick learner, and he has surpassed the person who taught him spectrology in the first place. That's the way he put it.
Oh, he surpassed the person who taught him spectrology in the first place. Okay, he surpassed that person. Lizzie?
Calm yourself, lad. Calm yourself.
Remember, we will get him no matter what.
You're going to pop a seam.
The doctor goes rummaging through his things. Would you like a mood-enhancing mushroom to calm you down? I grow them here in the bunker.
Yes, please.
I never touched the stuff, but...
He's literally just offering you a mushroom version of a Prozac.
I just, can I have some?
Oh, sure. Eat mushrooms all around.
See, this is what I said to you earlier. You and Max are just going to go off and have some fun and take a trip while we're doing all the work.
All right. Well, because it is a stress relief drug, anybody who takes the mushrooms can reduce their stress by a D6 without time.
Well,
In that case, I will also take one.
I didn't know that, and also now I'm being stubborn, so I'm going to do what I intended while glaring at Doc Winston, and put the mushrooms into the Velcro pouch inside Skylar, who I've renamed Gordon Bloodyhorn.
I'm going to roll a D6 to decide how many mushrooms you just took, because they were meant to be at one time, like, oh, hey, here's a health poster. Like, oh, I saved these for later. I'm like, you know what? Sure, I'll allow that. I'm going to say they have a short shelf life, though, because they are fungi. I rolled a 2. You have 2 mushrooms.
Okay, I will write down what is the date and how many mushrooms.
You have 2 mushrooms, and the doctor tells you that you have maybe 5 days with
5 days, okay.
Dr. Thoreau,
Yes, Max.
may I approach?
Of course, Max.
Yes. I just want you...
I would like to remind you the last time you said, I would like to approach you, stab Swift Taylor in the neck, just for your own.
After hearing what I just learned about famous Nathan, I would welcome the swift embrace of death.
I put my hand on the good doctor's shoulder, and I look him just dead in the eye, and then I shove my mushroom into his mouth. Now, that will calm you down. I need you later. Be calm, level-headed.
I smacked Max in the head.
Roll skirmish.
The sound of that slap echoes through the chambers.
I want you to roll skirmish to see whether or not Max stays intact from you smacking him in the back of the head.
Uh-oh.
And Lizzie's just sitting back watching it with a grin on her face.
That's a 3.
Yeah, with a 3, you smack Max, like, not with a lot of force, probably playfully. Max does not have his various barely attached body parts go flying off.
It is important with
I'll put that back on later.
I have healed 3 stress.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Glad it worked out.
And Lizzie did take 1 and healed 1 stress.
Man, you roll low every time I give you a free stress relief. You need a better D6.
No, the alcohol I rolled really high.
Were my hands always this big? I feel like my hands are really big.
No, they're
They
getting
are.
bigger.
They are enormous. Now, Dr. Feelgood, in your estimation, since you cartoonishly solved almost this puzzle, how many moves do you see before it is complete?
I don't know. Why don't you go ahead and roll Tinker? I'll give you a bonus die because you've been working on this for 3 episodes to try and solve this puzzle.
Let's see. I have a 9 in total. I've got a 3 and a 6.
I switched to Monster Cafe rules on accident. Sorry. The 6 is a total success. So you like start whipping through it, and you like immediately you have like the hangover brain. You can almost see the ethereal equations floating around Max's mind as he like instinctively solves this with a 6.
Just that last snap of the orb, Max's eyes start glowing red, and he starts levitating off. No, just kidding.
Wouldn't put it past him.
That would be under the critical success, not the success.
Is everyone feeling better?
Fine.
I was kind of okay anyways.
Well, Sterling, you're always fine. I'll overlook.
I've taken my shoes and my socks off, and I'm just walking around barefoot and like hopping up and down. The tile feels really nice and cold on my feet.
Oh, is this what it's like?
Who's in your feet?
To be you, yes, and deal with you.
Winnie, here, boy. Good, Thoreau, good. Okay. Who's a good boy? Who wants to go after the famous Nathan? Who wants to go get him? You want to get famous Nathan?
Yeah,
you want to eat him? You want to eat his arm?
No.
Eat his arm and rip it from his sockets and then just gnash your teeth upon... I'm sorry. Yes.
Where are you going
What
with
were we
that?
talking about again?
I don't know.
Just hold on to the shadow so that you don't fall over.
I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna lay down on the floor now, and this is nice on my
Oh,
cheeks.
here, no, there's cots right here in the lab. You can lay on a cot. Jesus.
Too late.
Yeah, you all rest here for the night, or whatever. Like, it's actually like you guys it's like 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon at this point, so you could journey back to Tightwad if you wanted, but the doctor's pretty much unconscious. Now, I'm sure nothing bad will happen to your hot dog car and your horse if you stay here overnight. So
I'll carry him.
Enjoy what you're hearing? Rate us on your favorite podcatcher. Reviews on platforms like Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods help new listeners find our content. It's a completely free way to support the show. Thanks for listening.
most folks don't realize it, but the world is ripe with monsters. And when you have a monster problem, you need someone who is smart.
I came over here, I saw that there was a crime scene, I figured, I'd park here on the
Crime scene. Brave.
It's just not our fight. We just honk the horn, everybody dissipates, and we just ride away.
And qualified.
If nobody is going to assist David with this, he is going to pull out his nunchucks.
Who gave him those nunchucks?
Van Helmen's family is none of those things, but they're the best we've got, so check them out on Monster Cafe. Available now wherever you find your favorite podcasts. All right, so you guys take the elevator back up. You now have a new assignment from Doctor Feelgood to recover his stolen research and supplies.
As Sterling's carrying me, you just hear the song from The Bodyguard, starring Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, and it's and yeah.
Oh no, who's driving?
No one wants to hear me sing that at all.
Lizzie has canonically driven this car before. It'll be fine.
Okay. I'm gonna lay the dock down and start making some hot dogs.
There's pickles now, too.
Excellent. I put pickles on all the hot dogs.
600 pounds of crab meat.
Yes, there are 600 pounds of crab meat. Oh, by the way, Lizzie, while you were gone, they fought a giant giant crab, I forget which one, named Crawdaddy. And they took its arm, they took the meat out, put it inside of the food truck's refrigerator, and put the shell over the hot dog car, so the hot dog car now has armor.
So it looks like a giant crab with an erection.
I was gonna say, does it also have a gun up top?
Yes.
Yes, actually, Max put his sniper rifle through it.
Got a little sniper nest in the head of the lobster.
As long as it ain't my rifle.
Yeah, so while you're all packing up, Victor says, "I'll see you all back in Tightwad," tips his cowboy hat to you, and rides on ahead on his horse.
Bye, Dad.
Yep.
Yeah, he is long gone. And you all start driving. And because everybody in Discord kept guessing this is going to be a fucking boss battle, you hear a thud. Thud.
Hey, guys.
I guess that because you literally said it.
Guys, we should stop delivering packages and smuggling, and we should just open a food truck where we just sell crab meat. We could sell like crab rolls, like lobster rolls, and lobster salad, and like in a hot dog bun.
I'm kind of into this.
Genius idea.
Anyway, you do hear the ominous thud of something very large running up behind you. It thinks you're food because you look like a lobster.
With an erection.
You see what looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with the head of a devil and two enormous gorilla arms, but reptilian. You've heard legends of this in Combat Critters. It's just a fucking Deathclaw from Fallout.
Well, that's no fun.
Is that the name of it canonically in game? Is just a fucking Deathclaw from Fallout?
Yes.
Yes. It's like the Blue Eyes White Dragon. There's only 3 copies of this card in existence.
Art imitates life, imitates art. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it thinks you're food.
Sterling, I never thought you'd be a philosopher.
Do we have a back door that I can open up, like on a back butt of a bus?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say you do, because I envision it that way, even though I don't think the Outsquire Automobile has a back door.
No, it does not.
Lizzie would be the expert because Queenie used to work at an Oscar Mayer reveal earlier in her life.
Nice.
It just lied for us. I'm kidding.
And they would leave one sitting out in the parking lot.
Canonically, the buns aren't also known as the back door, so technically I would argue that there is a back door on.
Yeah, we're talking about buns and wieners and back doors. There's a joke here somewhere. Anyway, Sterling goes to the now canonical back door. What is Sterling's plan?
To the door at the top, to the lobster crow's nest, and then at the back. I guess I kick it open and get ready to punch.
Okay, so your plan is to just punch this thing every time it gets in melee range of you?
Is it like chasing behind us or at
Yes.
our side? And also, I'm wondering how Lizzie's reacting as the driver.
Yeah, it is chasing you. Lizzie, what are you doing while you're driving?
Just trying not to wreck the Wienermobile, and I will try and shoot it with a pistol.
Are you more focused on driving or shooting?
Driving.
All right, go ahead and roll. It's operating a machine, so I can see Tinker, but I could also see Finesse, whichever one's better for you.
Either one. So I'll go with Tinker. Ooh, that's a 6.
Yeah, so you floor it, and this thing is like, you start getting some ground ahead of it, so it's like still chasing you, but like it can't get in arm's reach to swipe at the car, so Sterling's plan of punching it is not looking great at the moment, but Sterling, you look around and you do see heavy shit you could throw at it in the car, so if you want to like improvise some ranged weapons, you could.
Guys, we have a customer. He's interested in purchasing our crab meat sandwiches. You should charge him for some crab meat.
Yeah, extra pickles.
Yeah, there's entire jars of pickles here, for starters. Just talk a pickle jar like a bowling ball at this thing.
I'd like to take a moment and just give Craig, my egg plush, a pet because my Audacity just crashed. Tank fuck for Craig.
Oh, good. Craig, you saved us once again. Craig, this is why you're my favorite of the two evil robots that will eventually conquer us. Your brother Geark is inferior. Yeah, you're looking around and you see lots of like pots and pans. Because it is a food truck. At first it used to be. And you do have 600 pounds of crab meat.
And I would say that while we were in Tightwad, all the pots and pans got changed out for cast iron.
Okay, sure.
Because of course they did.
Does anyone want to act before I do something asinine?
Go for it, I'm driving.
Lizzie.
Yes.
Can I take the wheel and you take this? As I try to put my rifle together, I heard you're a good shooter, so...
I have a rifle too, my grandfather's, right here. I can use mine.
That's very cute. Here's another one.
Doesn't Max need his foot to drive?
I still have one.
Which foot did Max listen? I'm going to scroll down to your physical description and see if the foot people traditionally operate the brake and the accelerator is the one that's missing.
You can drive with your left foot. I've done it with my
That's kind of what I was...
But I'm just saying, is Max proficient in using that foot to drive, or is he usually uses prosthetic?
Considering we're in a pretty open area, I don't think it's going to matter too much.
He does not...
It'll affect whether or not it'll affect the position I give you on your rolls.
It's his right leg. He is missing his right leg.
Below the knee.
Yes, so the right leg is what he would have been trained to drive with. I'm going to give you -1D on your rolls to drive this car because you're using your off foot. All right, there we go. Just wanted to clarify that. For the people, we're just doing the Ondego Montoya. I'll do this with my left hand because right is over too quickly, but for driving.
Absolutely.
All right, Lizzie, you now have the ability to shoot the death claw if you so desire.
Yes, I would try and shoot it. I
All right.
assume it's hunt?
That is correct.
Also, Lizzie, my rifle is based off of the Quigley Down Under rifle.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, you know me and my Tom Selleck. That's a 5.
Yeah, with 5, you clip this thing real good. You fire into it, and you watch this big chunk of like reptilian flesh break off of it. But you just pissed it off. You didn't get a kill shot. You like got a shoulder or some shit. So, Winston, mechanically, you aren't actually drugged if you'd like to participate.
Oh no, I know. I'm playing Mickey the Dunce.
Just wanted to make sure you had the option to spring into action if you so desired.
I'm trying to think of what my next move would be. I'm gonna follow Sterling to the back of the vehicle and where the back door is open, and I'm gonna take a frying pan and I'm gonna yell at the beast, and I'm gonna say, "From the 9th layer of hell itself to back there, I command you to go," and try to command him to leave us alone.
All right, roll command to try and tell this Deathclaw to fuck the hell off.
It's a 6 and a 2. I know it's gonna have limited effect.
Yeah, it seems very confused. Like, oh, it like for some reason it considers obeying you for a second, and it stops, and like, it looks very perplexed. Like it has been commanded before, but like it realizes you're not its master, and then goes back to chasing you.
Can I use that success to give Sterling +1d on his next roll?
Yes, their next roll.
Oh, their next roll. Sorry.
Oh, good. Sterling uses whatever. All right, that's probably very helpful. Thank you for that, Doc. Okay, I'm gonna activate my boots, and I'm gonna launch myself and punch it in its face.
All right, Dragon Fist, let's do it.
Falcon Punch. Is that like a skirmish or wreck or what am I?
Whichever one's better for you, because I feel like it's big enough a thing it could be justified as wreck, but skirmish is the de facto I punch things roll. So this is great effect because you're also accelerating at rocket speed at it.
So that was 3 whole die. I rolled 2 1s and a 3.
All right, I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain. You can land a hit that will clobber this thing, but because you are rocketing at it and you are like not able to land a good punch, you will break your punching arm. That would be a level 2 harm, broken arm.
But he needs that arm for punching.
Yeah, they have a second arm available for that.
I do have 3 other limbs for hitting and a head. I can headbutt. I can bite, I can tackle. Yeah, I gotta do it. I'm jumping out of the back of a moving vehicle to punch this monster in its face.
Yeah, I was like, I need to offer a devil's bargain to let something this cool happen.
Thank you.
You like Shoryuken this thing right in the jaw, going at like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 70 miles an hour because you have rocket boots. And you like didn't take into account the speed you were moving when you aimed this blow. So you didn't like arc your arm in just the right way to mitigate the pressure. So you clobber it, but you hear the sickening crack around the elbow area.
Oh no.
And this thing, like, actually, you know the expression, the bigger they are, the harder they fall? You knock this thing flat on its ass because you just punched it at 70 miles an hour. And it looks stunned. And you have enough thrust to, while holding your limp Vegeta arm, fly back to the hot dog car.
That is very generous of you.
There's a lot of euphemisms in that statement.
You get the impression if you wanted to not pick a fight with this giant monster, you could just speed away while it's stunned.
Please do that. Please, everyone, drive away really fast. Drive away really fast, please.
I think I can finish it off.
Here's the thing. You guys put Max in the steering wheel.
Please don't do a K-turn and ram the car.
Max, what would Max do in his heart of hearts while at the wheel knowing this?
And did it slam the brakes?
It is not slam the brakes, but I do slow down enough to turn the car around.
I immediately get up into the sniper's nest.
Winston Thoreau. Dr. Winston Thoreau.
Yeah, yes, Max.
You are a talented force of nature. You have...
Thank you, Max.
You have grabbed someone's soul and stuffed it inside the head of another. Let's see if you can pull a soul from its body.
That is definitely not a thing he can mechanically do.
Oh, no.
I can try, but I don't know if this thing even I will attune to it, I guess.
Okay, roll attune to try and psychically possess this thing, because that's the closest you're going to get.
Well, that's 2 3s.
2 3. So you try attuning to it, and you run into something you don't run into super often. A psychic barrier. You can't possess this thing because somebody's already used their ability to attune to the spirit field to tame this thing and train it. This is not a random animal attack.
Oh.
Is this a famous the fucking thing from Fallout? Oh, Deathclaw from Fallout?
You cannot tell just by reaching the psychic barrier who it is, but you know only 3 people who are capable of tuning to the spirit field in this whole world. Famous Nathan, you, and JCPenney.
How do I then... Can I go back into my brain and try to remember who had the briefcase with the 3 that fucking thing from fucking Deathclaw from Fallout cards in their briefcase?
You absolutely can. That's going to be a flashback.
In the middle of the fight?
That is how flashbacks work in Blades in the Dark, actually.
Yeah, they actually do.
Craziness.
So you go back in time to your days in the orphanage. This was about a year before you were adopted. And there was this little punk-ass kid that you kind of took under your wing because it kind of reminded you of you as a kid. And this kid, by some circumstance, happened to acquire this super rare deck because the way that all these children's leagues work is there's like an adult that like teaches you the ropes. This adult was retiring and kind of took pity on this kid and handed him the deck that had 3 Deathclaws from fucking Fallout in the deck. And this was your childhood protege, Famous Nathan. Not so famous at the time. And I will let you, having spent that flashback, re-roll the bonus die to try and pierce the psychic barrier.
That is 2 6s.
With a critical success, you pierce the psychic barrier, and the Deathclaw stands up and is completely entranced. You have taken over control of the Deathclaw from Famous Nathan.
Max stops the car.
Holy shit.
That actually worked.
Not only that, but you know, because you are basically reading this thing's mind, Famous Nathan sent it to fucking kill you. And with the intention of it also killing Doctor Feelgood.
Would you convey that thought to us?
With a little bit of blood trickling down my nose, I look you square in the eye and say, this was Nathan. This was Nathan's Deathclaw from Fallout. Nathan sent him here, not realizing we were here, but to kill Dr. Feelgood. We were the bonus.
Did you stop it permanently?
It's not going to listen to Nathan anymore.
You get the impression you can maintain control for a day. You have to roll to reassert control over this thing on a daily basis.
I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to walk up, and I'm going to put my hand on what passes for a cheek, and I'm going to tell it to run off into the forest and go find the other 2 Deathclaws from fucking Fallout that exist in the wild, wherever they may be.
Max hops up to Winston, because, he only has the 1 leg right now. It was very commendable of you, my boy. But how fucking cool would it have been to, ride in on that, back to wherever Nathan is, and shoot him between his eyes?
We can walk there.
We don't need to ride in and shoot him in between his eyes. We need to take everything that has ever meant anything to him, and we need to make it our own. We need to rob, steal, and plunder until he is penniless in the gutter, and then we do exactly what Lizzie said. We end his life. And then we put his soul in a bottle, and I wear it around my neck until the day I die.
Do you mind if we shake the bottle every once in a while?
Oh, you can shake it as fast as you want.
Yes.
Warning,
now you're talking.
Contents inside may explode when shaken.
So, do you all now ride back to Tightwad to return the herbs and fungi to Dijonais?
Yeah.
I think maybe we should let Dr. Feelgood know his life was endangered.
Probably.
I think we go back to Feelgood.
Yeah, you didn't get super far. The Deathclaw was distracted by being hungry because you were a lobster. So it would have attacked the bunker otherwise. Oh shit, he sent him to kill me? Yeah, no, let me pack up my 10 things I still own. And he comes out with a little briefcase and rides in the Wienermobile with you back to Taiwan.
Can any of the doctors around here maybe help me?
Oh, Sterling.
Oh, I'm not that kind of doctor.
I'm also not that kind of doctor. If you get back to Dijonais, got it. Like, okay. Oh.
Can you
that is...
something?
Why is your arm backwards?
Oh, don't worry, hon. You didn't break it. You just dislocated it. Here. And she pops it back into place. Roll to reduce your harm.
What is that at 1d6?
Yes.
Mushrooms are for stress, not health.
I rolled a 4.
Or with a 4, you reduce it from a level 2 harm to level 1. You now have a sprained wrist.
Wow, that's an upgrade.
Yep, she popped your arm back into place, so you're not like Vegeta versus Android 18 anymore. You're kind of sore, so you have reduced effect for doing things until you get that fixed.
Yeah, a bad sprain can fuck you up.
Sterling, that was one of the bravest things I've ever seen.
Hey, I gave the control of the Wienermobile to Max.
That was
I
reckless.
said one of, not the.
That was reckless and insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a fine line between brave and insane.
Yeah, I wasn't being brave.
Yeah, but I wanted to try the new gun.
Speaking of, do you mind if I have that back?
Yeah, here you go.
You have to let go of it.
I don't want to, though. It's nicer
Lizzie?
than mine.
Lizzie? Release.
All right.
Thank you.
Dejanay looks at your gun leg and is like, I might have a solution for that for you. Hold on a second. And she starts drawing something, and she's like, it's going to take me a bit, but by the time you guys return here, and she shows you she can take like the outer shell of like a leg, and so when you snap it off, you'll still have a peg leg so you can walk around.
I imagine at the end of however long this whole thing is, Max is just going to be like in a giant Iron Man suit at some point.
Okay, Paul's slowly turning us all into Max.
Actually, Max, do you mind if we go to Jared's and have him look at your gun to maybe fashion me one? That I don't have to take yours?
So that's where they get that expression. So he went to Jared's.
It's gotta be Jared.
Lizzie, I was going to say you could have petty cash to go ahead and purchase yourself a new firearm if that's what you needed. I mean, we can expense these things now. I'm in charge.
Well, yeah, but I can just have my brother do it and take half the price.
Let's face it, above game, Lizzie's like, you gave Sterling and Max cool shit. Where's my cool thing?
Maybe? That not
You
want to
got a
quickly
dog.
gun?
Excuse me, your parents are on regular dining thing with the mayor of their town.
Yeah, Lizzie, you got pickles.
Yeah, excuse me, you got an entire town of paramilitary farmers.
This whole time,
and donuts.
This whole time, I imagine you see her dog Shadow running up because she left him behind. He was trailing behind the horse as fast as he could. And then you guys flew off in the Wienermobile, and he's chasing after the Wienermobile.
I'll trade you my old grind shoes for some pickles. I want 2 jars.
You can just have pickles. I don't need. My parents grow them.
One-handed make some more hot dogs with lots of pickles on them. They
So
taste
Dr.
better.
Feelgood looks really confused. Who grows pickles? Usually you grow the cucumbers and then turn them into pickles. I am fascinated you found a way to bypass the process.
They do things a little differently in Tightwad.
We grow cucumbers and turn them into pickles. My point is, I got pickles coming out my ears. I can give away pickles.
You should have Dejanay take a look at that.
She did years ago.
No, she didn't because she just moved to Tightwad. It was a different doctor.
Okay, that works.
They knew each other, she left, and then came back.
Yeah.
Yes, and
you've actually, while you're all talking amongst yourselves, realized Dejanay's hitting it off with Dr. Feelgood, and he now has 2/3 of the team he needs to start making homunculi again if you want him to do that.
And the third one would be the doc.
Yep. And the doc has figured out spirit bottles, so if you had some like really burly people you need brought back from the dead, you could bring them back, i.e. Sterling.
Technically, I put that I'm thin and athletic, so wouldn't I be kind of burly for a woman?
No, we're talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime burly, somebody who looks like they can just casually pick up a car.
It's like
No, I'm more like Jessica Alba.
Yeah, like we said Sterling is somewhere between the Big Show and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That's
Triple H
That is
Ronda
a
Rousey.
massive.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Big Show is Victor Lorde. Triple H and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That is still a massive change.
Sterling's got range.
No, like I'm not saying could be either one. I'm saying somewhere in between the two. Like about half. Like if you kind of smushed Ronda Rousey and Triple H together and took the average of the two of them, you would have Sterling.
So China.
I should do Sterling's parents.
See, Justin, this is how we get you to talk about professional wrestling, is by doing it on mic as opposed to trying to do it after the show is over.
I have given you all the wrestling knowledge I have. Which is none. Dr. Winston.
Max, thank you.
It is not quite altruistic of me to do so, but I do have need of your services, if you don't mind stretching your metaphysical muscles.
After the confidence that you gave me back there to be able to do that, anything.
If you can you look into, there was an author back in the before times, Mary Shelley, I believe her name was. She wrote about a doctor who made a homunculus of sorts. But there were other authors that makes me wonder. There's someone called Max Brooks who wrote about a zombie attack. And there was also another undead thing where it was Bram Stoker, I believe, and he dealt more with
Bram
the
Stoker, Max Brooks, Mary Shelley.
Yes.
Max, I think maybe when we go back to town, we should visit the librarian.
I think that would be a good thing. I have a terrible feeling. Something is scratching at the back of my brain, and it's infuriating because it's almost a cohesive thought, and I don't have many of those, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose it.
Wait, I distinctly remember there's a man named Mel Brooks. Are you sure that's not who you're thinking of?
No, maybe? No.
Frankenstein? No, I can't. That can't be right.
No,
Let's go see.
For the sake of expediency, you'll remember that Lizzie's town was one of the beneficiaries of the library program. There is a local library that has a collection of books for reading.
Yep.
I feel...
That's how I knew Mr. Norris.
Yes.
So your concern, Max, is that if homunculi are real, what else could be real?
Partially. I am...
Especially after seeing that freakishly large, looked like a lizard, I believe, chasing after us.
It's just a fucking
like a dinosaur.
I'm sorry, who? What?
Yeah, so before you run off to the library, Dejanay grabs you, Doc, and says, I want to talk to you about some of the things you gave me to work on, if I can just have a minute of your time.
Of course, anything, Dejanay. Anything for you.
And she leads you back to the lab.
By the way, Doc Feelgood taught me how to make a spirit bottle. So if that comes in handy in any way, just let me know.
I can't think of a use for it. And she also takes the herbs of fungi and pays you all your coin. She's like, but I will think on it, but here, I want you to show this. And she shuts the doors with just you, the two of you in the lab. So this blood you gave me, whose blood is it? I need to know.
Well, I can't be certain because the instructions, at least the initial set, were destroyed and the secondary set was written somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but I think it's Max's.
See, I don't know about that because she pulls it up. She's like, I left it on my desk while I was working, and some light came in the window, and I had to close the window. She opens the curtains, and you watch the blood start bubbling in the sunlight. I feel like if he started boiling in the sun, he would notice.
Holy shit!
Am I here for this?
No, she made sure only the doc was here for this because Max's special super medicine is a top secret project.
Okay, sorry.
Is that blood now useless? Is that, did we just destroy our entire?
No, it's fine. It was just it started bubbling and I pulled it out, I think if I left it in the sun for like a few minutes, it would be bad. But like it just like the second I opened my curtains, like I saw it doing that, and I immediately closed them. So I think a few seconds of exposure is fine. I think if it was like 30 seconds to a minute, probably would be ruin the supply.
Has it reacted to anything else?
I mean, I haven't put it through the ringer, so to speak, but I know to store it in a dark, cool place now, like it's a myriad of other medicines.
And if you've never seen this before?
Never. I'm trying to think if there's a medical practitioner who would know. Of course, most of the medical practitioners these days are the Pepper family.
I have an idea. Try to attune to find out who the blood came from?
I would try and get like residual spirit energy.
Yes.
Sure.
6 and a 4.
6 and a 4, so there's something very familiar about this blood. There's a presence, you can't quite put your finger on it at first. But you realize it is very familiar to you, and you realize this has got traces of Benny's spirit.
I knew it.
I know exactly who this blood belongs to, or at least I have a good idea now. Because if it's not Max, there's only one other person it could be. Benjamin Franks.
Blades in Paradise is Paul Kinter as Master of Ceremonies, Justin Langston as Maximilian Graves, Faith Queenie Long as Lizzie Calhoun, and Mel Riley as Sterling Ackred, and myself, Jim Remus, as Dr. Winston Thoreau. Dami Widener is our editor. You can directly support this show at patreon.com/bardrocknetwork, starting at just $3 a month. You can join us on Discord, you can come play games with us, we'll even send you network swag at the end of the year. You can visit our sponsor, Evil Hat Games, and use code BARDROCK10 to buy cool games like Blades in the Dark, and let them know we sent you. You can support the podcast for free by sharing us on social media, word of mouth, or rating and subscribing on your favorite podcatcher. Lastly, you support us just by listening. Thank you for listening, dear friends.